Hello. I want to tell you about a series of talks that I'm going to be giving at Lower Macleay Anglican Church over the next few weeks. It's an 8-week series, but we will take a break for Easter and the Easter holidays, school holidays. Now, the series is called Resolving Everyday Conflict, and I'm going to be using this book as a guide, and it has 8 chapters in it, so that's the 8 talks, one on each chapter. At the same time, I'm inviting a group of people to, whoever would like to join me in working through the material. There's a study series that goes with the book. It has some video input that you watch and then discuss as a group, and there's a participant guide as well. So we're going to be doing that at the same time as we're going through these talks. Now, why resolving everyday conflict? Let me read you what it says on the back of the book. And I think you'll think it's pie in the sky, but I promise you, I've seen it in action. Here we go. Everyone encounters conflict, whether it be with a co-worker, family member, friend, or complete stranger. And yet we all desire harmony in our relationships. Resolving everyday conflict is a practical, biblical, and concise guide to peacemaking in everyday life that can turn your troubled relationships into peaceful ones. With the proven advice found in this book, authors Ken Sande and Kevin Johnson show you how to achieve not only a ceasefire, but also unity and harmony. Their biblical guidance will take you beyond resolving conflicts to true life-changing reconciliation with family, co-workers, and fellow believers. Okay, that's a pretty tall order, isn't it? And you might be thinking, yeah, but I have seen it in action. Now, how that worked was that a few years ago, a group of people and I read the book that this book is based on. This is the study series that goes with the original book, and this is the original book, The Peacemaker by Ken Sande. And the subtitle there is A Biblical Guide to Resolving Personal Conflict. Now, I highly recommend this book. But it's a pretty heavy read, and that's why I decided I was going to read it with a group of people, because that way I knew that I would actually do the reading. Great way to motivate yourself. But what I would never have expected was what we experienced over that period of time. I think it took us nearly 3 months to read the whole book. There was a break for Christmas holidays and people going away and so on. So we read a chapter a week, which was a lot of working because they are quite heavy. Lots of reference to what God says in the Bible about relationships, what relationships should be like if we are followers of Jesus, and what they could be like, can be like, if we follow Jesus' teaching. Now, as the weeks went by, we started off thinking initially, we're not too bad at dealing with conflict, and we don't have that much conflict in our lives. But as the weeks went by, person after person came to the group saying, you will never guess what happened this week. I haven't been talking to so-and-so for a while. We had this argument a while back, and I've just kind of, stayed away. But I started to apply the principles that we've been reading about, and guess what happened? We're actually talking to each other. We're going out for dinner, as a family in a few weeks' time, or whatever it might have been. And it's just story after story that was brought back to that group. I think all of us experienced transformation in our relationships, in relationships in some cases that had been strained, if not completely broken, for a decade or more. So I highly recommend this series. I hope you can make it. 2 opportunities to come to the talks. On Saturday evenings, we meet at 5 o'clock at beautiful little Hat Head Village Church. Now that's 5 o'clock in the summer months, 4 o'clock when we get to winter hours, so that people don't drive home in the dark. And in Southwest Rocks on a Sunday morning, we meet at 9 o'clock. So very welcome to join us at either of those times. And if you're interested in joining the small group that's going to be reading this material together, please get in touch. I hope to see you in church. Bye.